Next up for me, it doesn't get closer to the heart than Tourism Australia. As I mentioned, I do love coming here. This has been a place I've loved to come for the last 12 years. It's been on my top list every time anybody asks me, because I travel a lot, where's your favorite place? It's always Australia. But as we were making a decision earlier this year about where we might want to move, I wasn't 100% sure I could make this big of a move. And it was funny because it was in January, and there was a big event happening. And as my family was sitting down with friends and we were watching this big event, which was the Super Bowl, all of a sudden here comes this, looks like a movie trailer for a new Crocodile Dundee movie. And I had people texting me and calling me who knew I was trying to make this decision, and they said, "Was this for you?" And I did truly feel like it was personalized to me. And I think that everybody across America where that was targeted felt like it touched their hearts as well. It was an incredible campaign. And Tourism Australia has done a fantastic job with that campaign, but not only with their campaign, but with all their advertising and with their incredible Instagram account. That made it so much easier for me to convince my daughter and my sons to move here because they see these fantastic posts all the time. I'd like to welcome an experience maker from Tourism Australia, the Managing Director and CEO, John O'Sullivan, to the stage. John has joined us today to share how they're using Adobe's platforms to not only deliver high-quality, personalized customer experiences, but to help ensure that people are finding the right destination for their holiday experience. Please welcome John.
That's not a knife. That's a knife. That's me.
Brian Dundee?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Why do you keep saying really?
You right there, mate?
Nothing to see here, man. Just getting a clean shave with my machete.
See you next week, Barry. You know, when your dad did it, he was much...
Okay, and when my dad told me about this, he was just like, yeah, I just came up and he did this, okay?
I just don't think he can see you from back here.
Not a lot of crocs out here, huh?
It's just 37,000 miles of pristine, beautiful beach, mate. Did you know that Australia makes some of the finest wines in the entire world?
No, I didn't know that.
Thank you very much.
Wait, hold up. This isn't a movie.
No.
It's a tourism ad for Australia.
Yes. But listen, you're the best Crocodile Dundee since Crocodile Dundee.
Really?
Yes, really. And we had the best trip ever, didn't we?
It was pretty sweet.
Hey, you know, there are some great flight deals to Australia right now.
Dude, I get it. It's not a movie, it's a commercial.
Thank you. Thanks very much, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And can I also add my acknowledgements to the Gadigal people, whose land we meet on this morning, and elders past, present, and also emerging. Thanks very much for that welcome, and I'm so glad that you like that ad. I really am. I can't tell you how much that makes me so proud of the work that the team at Tourism Australia have done. But what we want to do today is talk to you about this case study and about the strategic issues that this was designed to solve, and frankly, that we're still trying to solve in the North American market. But also, it's a great example of how everything has come together on our journey with Adobe over the last 4.5 years. Through the transformation and automation of our business systems, to now really taking our enhanced experiences to the rest of the world through our digital products. This has been a great example of that partnership. And what's interesting about the Dundee campaign is that 94% of all the experiences that we are now serving up through the 30-odd partners that we are working with in the North American market, and we continue to do so, has been served through Adobe products. And 80% of our marketing team now are fully in tune and fully embedded with Adobe products across our 15 markets and our 16-odd offices around the world. So this is as much about a practical example of how we're taking this journey as experience makers to the rest of the world. And I want to thank Chartanu and Paul Robson particularly for their partnership and guidance, particularly on this campaign. We couldn't have done it without their backing. And I've also got to say that it was great to learn this morning that Brad Renshaw thinks that Australia is his favourite country. You know, this is just amazing news because his last family holiday he took to the South Island of New Zealand. So I'm just really, really happy. Can I tell you? I'm so happy that we've converted him. You know, when we were in Las Vegas, he said that Nevada was his favourite holiday destination. I don't know what it is about Brad. Maybe it's the shoes, but look, it's great stuff. So, you know, it's great to see Brad here as well and enjoy North Queensland. So look, let's get into it and let's have a bit of a chat about, you know, what we're trying to do here. And really, Tourism Australia's job is really about one simple thing. And we want to make Australia the most desirable and memorable destination on the planet. And that gets to the heart of what we're talking about here today and over the next 2 days is about experiences. And those two adjectives are really, really important for what we're trying to do. We're about first-time visitation, which is about the desirability. And then importantly, we want people to come back. Because Australia's a complex destination. We're a big expanse, we've got lots to see and do. And a lot of people think that you only do it in one sort of small hit, you know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time, and then they're gone. Well, we want them to come back in short, sharp bursts. And that's why, you know, our vision, our purpose, using the Australian way of life and inviting people to experience that is about this desirability and also memorability. And our strategy is not built around volume, it's built around yield. You know, unashamedly, we took a decision about 8 years ago now that we wanted our industry to be about spend and about yield of customer. Because as all of us know, it's great to have volume, but you've also got to have a commercial outcome as well. And that's where we've really driven this notion of a high-value traveller. And a high-value traveller is someone who we know has a latent demand to come to Australia or travel long haul. They have a great demand for the experiences that Australia has to offer. And we know they'll spend more, stay longer, and come back. And that's really what our strategy and our purpose is really all about and is the strategic drivers of what we've been doing. And the pure problem that Australia has as a destination that we are trying to solve right now, and that this campaign was a key part of doing it, is what this slide up here shows you and what it's about. You know, people think that Australia is a desirable destination. They think it's a destination that's cool, it's fashionable. You know, look at how we are seen internationally. But then what you find is that the visitation or the conversion piece, you know, falls away. But once they've come here, they absolutely love it. So it really is this classic marketing problem about we know that once we get people to Australia, they're going to tell their friends when they get home, this is a great destination, you must go there. I'm sure Brad's going to do that with all of his friends when he gets back to North America. But it's a really important part of why we're trying to get people to visit Australia and keep coming back. And the opportunity in North America is that, you know, Americans are travelling right now. The Australian industry has had a great story over the last 8 years with mainland China. 1.4 million visitors, compound annual growth rates at 20%. You can now fly from 17 cities in mainland China into 7 destinations in Australia. It's a great story. But what we also believe, and what we also took a decision as a business at the beginning of 2017, was that we think there's more to get out of the North American market because Americans are travelling, and by comparison, we know that our share is not probably as good as it possibly could be. And we also know that Americans really do like the experiences that we have on offer here as a holiday destination. And if you think about that, and then you overlay what are some of the macro level factors that are behind the North American story, it's a really great opportunity. Air capacity has never been better. You know, Virgin Australia, Qantas, Delta, United, Hawaiian Airlines, all fly directly now into Australia. You know, gateways like Houston, Dallas, cities that never before have been accessible from direct point-to-point air capacity now stands true. And that's before you even add the indirect capacity, which a lot of Americans now are starting to do through ports like Singapore and also Dubai and also Hong Kong. So you've got that. You've also got the fact now that Americans, as we said before, are travelling, 11% growth per annum. Our growth rate from the American market is about equivalent to that. So we're going on par, but we know that there's more in the tank. And the great thing is about Australia is that we're relatively cheap because of our exchange rate, and that global conditions favour us as a destination in that market. And that simply goes back to this fact that Australians are welcoming, and we know that Americans feel friendly in this destination, and that's a really important part of what we're trying to sell. So, at the beginning of 2017, we sat down with our board, we sat down with our team, we said, right, if we're going to make a splash in this market and really start to try and shape the market, we need to play something that's, a little bit bigger than what we do. And to put this in context, the top 10 travel brands in America spend on average about the equivalent of Tourism Australia's operating budget. So businesses like Expedia and Priceline and others have a budget on average of about $100 million a year. My total budget at the moment is 150 million Australian. So if you weigh that up, it's about how do we use a platform that can really talk to our target audience in the most effective way possible. So if we were going to do it, we were going to have to do something that committed us to 110%. And we did our research and we looked through things, and it came up unequivocally about this particular platform. And these stats are unbelievable. 103 million people actually watch the game. You've got 1 billion people, look at the ads. It's absolutely ultimate appointment viewing. But what's really important for us and what sold it into us was really about that third circle on the slide, which was that we knew at least 50% of our target audience would be consuming this particular game at the one time. Now that for us was an opportunity, bearing in mind that our sort of operating budget in the US traditionally had been about $15 million. That was an opportunity too good to refuse or too good to pass up. And of course, through our partnerships with Droga and other agencies that we worked with, and of course Adobe, we came up with this notion. And you've seen the ad, and I'll take you through a little bit about what the strategy is behind that. We have amazing beaches in this country. We have some of the most beautiful geography anywhere on the planet. You go around the world and it is just considered world-class, and all of our research confirms that. We have amazing food and wine and drink and other things as well, and natural produce that a lot of countries think is just, abundance from heaven. And then, of course, we've got some of the most unique wildlife on the planet. But what's the secret sauce, or what's the glue that ties it all together, that really makes it the welcoming destination that we are? And that's all of you in this audience. It's the people. It's the one thing that distinguishes us from the rest of the world. And what we were trying to do, and what we've continued doing, is about this message for America is you take those three experiences that we talked about before, and you take the experiences around the Australian people and what they do. This is about making it a welcoming destination and really giving it some cut through that we probably haven't had for a number of years. If you look at what a lot of tourism boards do, and we've been guilty of it as well, it's about these beautiful landscapes, classic music, probably shot by an English art director, so the skies are dark and stormy. And this is really great stuff, but at the end of the day, it goes into this kind of sea of sameness. And we needed to distinguish that. And what is the key thing for us to do that was really around the people. And then, of course, it was about that, bringing that to life was with our partnership. And we had around 40-odd partners that worked with us on this project and will continue to work with us on this project. There was over something like 100 NDAs that were signed to keep these partners tight and in the tent. But ultimately, this is what this has been about, using creativity to solve a strategic issue with great partners and using people as the differentiator in what's a really important market. Now, I've prattled on for a bit. I am now going to show you a video which really brings all of that together and shows you what the case study of what this project actually is. So I'll ask you to show you that quick video now.
Good day, losers.
You got your first look at Danny McBride for the new Dundee trailer.
All of a sudden, my news feed blows up. Danny McBride is the son of Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee.
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 The internet lit up when Chris Hemsworth appeared in a trailer for a brand new Crocodile Dundee film.
There's an official website and everything, DundeeMovie.com.
They're like, what is this? I actually want to see it.
I mean, it's massive here in Times Square.
You right there, mate?
Just getting a clean shave with my machete.
Now, the best look yet at Dundee. It features
Margot Robbie,
Liam Hemsworth,
Hugh Jackman.
Russell Crowe.
Speculation is building on whether the movie may just be part of a Super Bowl ad.
Tourism Australia, now they haven't really commented on this. Whatever it is, the world are talking about it.
Midway through the commercial, they start talking about 37,000 miles of pristine beach, mate. And then Danny McBride says,
Wait, hold up. This isn't a movie.
no.
It's a tourism ad for Australia.
Yes.
It was a commercial.
Chris Hemsworth's Dundee movie has been outed as a big marketing stunt.
You thought you were watching a trailer for Crocodile Dundee. I just thought hysterical.
It's more success than any film I've ever been in.
I want to say Australia, but it turns out Danny McBride just made that up for a movie. It's not a real thing.
Fans are fighting to make the sequel a reality. Even director Judd Apatow wants to know when he can start shooting. A terrific campaign.
One hell of a sales pitch right here.
It made me want to go right away. Makes you really proud to be this.
It makes me want to go to Australia. Australia looks beautiful.
The reach has certainly been impressive.
All for a Super Bowl ad that's going to be one of the best in history.
You're the best Crocodile Dundee since Crocodile Dundee.
Really?
Thank you. So the lessons for us, before I go, are really three things. At the heart of this, it's been about using creativity to solve a strategic issue. You know, this issue of conversion versus intent, desirability, fashionability, etc. Using the creativity of the Australian people and our partners to really solve that particular issue. You know, this is also about, to all of you in the audience, and I say this as someone that, you know, has been so privileged over the last 4 years to lead an organisation, is about, you know, having a crack and having a go at something that's a little bit different, a little bit more big, and make you feel uncomfortable, right? You know, it's really easy to sit back and do the same things every day and feel comfortable and feel secure in what you're doing, but sometimes just taking that leap can really produce something that is just out of the box. And then finally, it's about partnerships. And you know, from our partnerships from our airline partners to our distribution partners, to our partnerships from the agencies we used, our partnership with Adobe, it is really about those three things that bring these types of ideas together. So thank you very much for having me. I hope you have a great couple of days. I am sorry that Lisa couldn't be here this morning. I hope that you give her some good feedback that I did okay. That'd be nice. And have a great day and really enjoy this conference. They're a great partner. Thanks.